Well, here's our first view of Finland.
Did you get some good shots in the rain? People with umbrellas.
Yeah, with umbrellas. That looks like rock.
I walked around the ship, found the duty-free store, and the people with grocery carts full of cases of beer, like 6 and 7 cases. And now I'm back out here. Got a little beach in here. And we are approaching Helsinki.
But they are a strong people, and they've managed to resist a lot of things through their history. I'm going to head over to the hotel.
Well, here we are at the Hotel Camp, K-A-M-P, in Helsinki, Finland. From ultra-modern to very classical decor in this hotel that evidently the rich and famous like to stay at. This is quite a bathtub. And quite a nice shower.
All sorts of bins out for the afternoon. On the right-hand side, you see the Mari Mikko. This is Mari Mikko. This is the store I was talking about, the designer, Finnish clothing designer. You can also, you can get cloth, you know, for tablecloths or what have you. And if you look on the left-hand side here, after the Finnish poet here,
Ben and Jerry's.
These two little fellows, north. So now the Sami are the people who live up in Lapland. They live up really north of the Arctic Circle. They are good with the reindeer. They believe that fountain has aphrodisiac qualities. So they splash their face with water and they say love in Finnish 3 times, and it's supposed to make them more fertile. On their face. Fortress that was on the island, and it was put there to protect Finland against the Swedish invaders. Carpets, but if this was first thing in the morning, if it was like this, you would see women down there scrubbing their carpets for the day. And they do that in the winter time as well. They'll do it a few different times during the year. They'll take the carpets out and they'll scrub them clean. Now this is under Alexander the First. Remember the Tsar that was the Tsar during the Napoleonic Wars. Now things set up in Finland that was ruling over them. They basically had their own government, and they just directly went to the Tsar for any of their issues. Turku was the original center. It was also the center of the university. So in 1809, when the Russians took over, they decided they needed to kind of switch things up. And so in 1812 was when they officially moved the capital from Turku into Helsinki. And it was. There was 2 brothers. They participated. There was an architectural competition.
Now this is a church we're going to go check out. Here's the outside. This is just a huge big chunk of granite that they've hollowed out inside for the church. Pretty unique. It's the interior of this Lutheran church.
Okay.
The street signs are in Swedish and finish.
Sauna, and then they'd have more sausages and more beer, and they would solve all the problems of the world. And pretty soon, by the end of that, the Russians were going to go along with anything that the Finns said. National circus, or the parliament. Sorry, parliament. Now, coming up here on the right is going to see there's a bear in front of it, a stone bear. But there's a train on the way. But that's the National Museum, basically the National History Museum. 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter, and mile world records at the same time. He's the only one who's ever done that. He was in the 1920 Olympic Games, the 1924 Olympic Games, the 1928 Olympic Games. He won 9 gold medals and 3 silver medals. He went 121 races undefeated. Asks, how do they deal with the dark? How do they deal with the cold? It's part of their life. In the very center, they actually have heated water pipes that run under the center, near our hotel is. There's heated water pipes that run under the streets to keep them somewhat ice-free. A famous person from Finland, and you heard a little bit of his music, I think, while you were in the church. Do you know who their most famous musician was? Jan Sibelius. And he's considered kind of their national musician, and he was put on, basically he was given a salary for the rest of his life. He was given a grant, a lifetime grant, to compose music. One of his most famous compositions was the Karelian Suite, or Suite to Karelia. So he died in 1957, so he was composing at the end of the 1800s up until in the early 1900s. And in 1967, they put up a monument to him.
Well, this is a monument in honor of Mr. Sibelius.
Much like the bagpipe.
Well, you got people sticking their heads in here, all these pipes. You're supposed to hear something, but I don't hear anything. Beautiful park here. A lot of granite on this hilltop. And then they've got this beautiful park. And this is the train station.
So it's got that kind of
will be tomorrow. Take the
Art
train
Deco
to St.
sort of look with
Petersburg.
the building with the red roof there. That's the Finnish National Theater. So you saw the Swedish theater, that's the Finnish theater. And she was the first woman president. But at the time when she was president, there were, out of 20 ministers, there were 12 of them who were female.
Or the icebreakers they use to
I don't know
keep
what the fourth one is called.
the waterways open in
But those
the
are
winter.
some of their icebreakers. Technologically advanced
Meantime, there's
icebreakers.
a nice sailboat, a tall ship.
Look at the beautiful, the tall ships. Aren't they gorgeous?
There's another one.
Now,
Here we are. I believe this is Parliament Square, and that's a Lutheran church. And they do pay a tax to the church in this country. And over here is the Parliament. And lots of tour buses. This side of the square is the university. And teachers in this country are paid similarly to doctors and lawyers. This is the Russian Tsar, Alexander II, and here he is in the middle of Parliament Square in Finland, and he is the Tsar who freed the serfs. Unfortunately, a lot of people weren't happy with that, and he was assassinated.